Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be rating your Game Week 1 teams, picking them apart, seeing what could be improved, seeing what players are kind of being thought about in the community as a whole. Of course, if you enjoy these kind of videos, make sure to send me your teams. My Twitter will just be in the description down below. With all of that out of the way, let's get into it, and I really hope that you enjoy. So, the first team that we're going to be taking a look at today is sent to me from Rune, and he's saying, my current draft, even without Saka and Salah, I still think this midfield is really, really good. Not spending money on defense outside of Guardiola thoughts. So, they have Sanchez and Turner in goals, so a decent pairing, really. Sanchez, again, should be the number one for Chelsea. That's what the kind of, I guess, the rumors are and stuff, but I'm sure we'll get more information about that closer to Game Week 1. If he is going to be the starting goalkeeper, I think that Sanchez is going to make a lot of teams, because for 4.5 mil, getting a really, really cheap weight into that Chelsea defense is going to be, I feel like it's going to be too difficult to pass on. So they're the goalkeepers. At the back, we've got Mykolenko, Gvardiol, Burn, Taylor, and Romero. In midfield, they've got Palmer, Eze, Foden, Bruno Fernandes, and Maddison. And then up top, they've got Watkins, Højlund, and Isak. So, yeah, they've clearly spread the funds all over the team. They don't really have like a weak bench, really, I guess, apart from Taylor. The first couple of things that I would kind of talk about with this team is that I wouldn't really back the Spurs defense this season. They weren't really keeping many clean sheets last season. And as well as that, with a player like Romero, yeah, he's got that goal threat on corners and stuff, but he loves a yellow card. He loves a dirty challenge. And as well as that, if you do concede in this season, you kind of bonus points are shot down. So it really makes defenders and goalkeepers, I guess, less appealing. And yeah, for 5 mil, I feel like Romero might just be a little bit of a waste. I'd much rather downgrade him and get that extra 0.5 and then use that somewhere else. It's the same with Maddison, really. He just, after that injury last season, he just didn't really seem himself. And I feel like I wouldn't really want to back him at the start of the season. And he's 7.5 mil. I mean, there's other options that you could maybe get to with that kind of price point instead. Because obviously there's no Salah in this team. There's no Haaland in this team, because obviously the funds are spread all over the place. I do rate the fact that obviously you're going a little bit different and you're kind of not going super template. But I think not owning either Haaland or Salah will be very detrimental to a team, especially Game Week 1, where Salah's got Ipswich, and then Game Week 2, obviously Haaland's got Ipswich. So I feel like you need at least one of them. So yeah, I'd probably get rid of Romero, maybe downgrade him to somebody like I don't know, I'm trying to think, like maybe an Anderson or something from Crystal Palace, maybe a Brighton defender as well. And then for Maddison, yeah, you might, I mean, you've got Højlund as well, who again is a little bit of a player where it can go really well or really badly. He obviously had a really good spell last season, but then also just stopped scoring. So maybe downgrading him to somebody like João Pedro or the Southampton striker, who's also on penalties. That'll save you another 1.5 mil. And then obviously if you downgrade Romero, that'll save you another 0.5. So that's 2 mil to kind of play around with. You can upgrade Maddison there. If you can find another 0.5 somewhere, that'll allow you to upgrade it to a Saka. But again, you have to kind of decide which formation you're playing as well. You're going to play 3-5-2, because obviously with these players, you can kind of play anything. You can play 4-4-2, you can play 3-5-2, you can play 3-4-3, and that's what I mean, because the bench is so strong. For a team like this, I feel like you'd be bench boosting like relatively early on, because your bench is so strong. But yeah, either way, it's an alright team. I'd definitely take a look at Romero, Maddison, and Højlund, though, because I'm not completely sold on those. The rest of the team, though, looks really, really good. And maybe for Taylor as well, get rid of him for like a different 4 mil defender, maybe like a Johnson or somebody like that. But yeah, all in all, not a bad team at all. Moving on, the second team is sent to us from Nav. They also have Sanchez and a 4 mil keeper in goal. Already spoken about that. At the back, they've got Cucurella, Anderson, Castagna, Johnson, and Burn. So very, very cheap at the back. They've got Palmer, Saka, Gordon, Garnacho, and Mo Salah up top. In midfield, should I say. And then up top, they've got Watkins, Isak, and Cannon. So yeah, I mean, this team looks very, very strong. There's not really a lot of things that would kind of go against it here. Obviously, there's not much money being used at the back. But like I say, maybe defenders aren't the way to go this season, just because they've been really hit hard in the whole bonus point situation. If they're not going to get assists and goals, and they're not in like a really strong defense, they're probably not going to be getting that many points. So maybe it is right to just go really, really low at the back and then just use those funds elsewhere. I'm assuming Salah would be your Game Week 1 captain. The only thing that would probably change about this team, really, is I'd downgrade Cucurella, because I wouldn't back double Chelsea defense. I know the fixtures are really, really good after City, but yeah, I just don't like. Cucurella obviously had a really good Euros, but You don't know how he's going to play in that Chelsea team. So I'd probably get rid of him, downgrade him to a different 4.5 mil defender. You could probably bring in like a Brighton defender or somebody like that. And then I would use that extra 0.5 to probably upgrade Garnacho to an Eze, just simply because Eze's on penalties most likely. They played really, really well at the end of last season as well. So yeah, that's probably the only kind of change I would really make to this team. Apart from that, though, it's really, really strong. Like I say, you got Salah, Saka, and Palmer. You got your Watkins and your Isak up top. Obviously, no Haaland, but again, you can't have everybody. So yeah, all in all, really good team, but that's probably the only change I would really make. Just getting rid of Cucurella for, like I say, 4.5 mil defender, and then probably upgrading Garnacho to an Eze, who, like I say, on penalties and stuff like that. But yeah, all in all, really, really good team there. Moving on, the third team is sent to us from Jack. And they, saying this is my team. So they've got Henderson in goal. Their other option is Turner, so obviously just a 4 mil keeper. At the back, they've got Gvardiol, Saliba, and Alexander-Arnold. So really, really expensive at the back. The other defender is Barco as well, who I'm assuming is a 4 mil defender. So again, with 4 mil defenders and Harwood as well, there are 4 mil defending players. You can, like I say, Johnson is an option. I think a couple of Leicester players. You can get a couple of Ipswich players as well. So I'd rather just go with those because you know that they're definitely going to play. I'm not sure if these two are. I don't really have a lot of I guess, information about these different players, but I know that there are 4 mil defending players that will play 90 minutes, so you just go for them over these random bench fodders. But yeah, Gvardiol, Saliba, and Trent, so obviously very, very expensive at the back, which again, is so much money. It's like between them, it's like, what, nearly 20 mil between 3 defenders. I don't think I've ever spent that kind of money on 3 defenders, but either way, they're kind of like a set and forget. Like you get those, you play them every single week, barring any injuries, and you just hope for the best. In midfield, we've got Gordon, Hudson-Odoi, Eze, and Palmer. And then up top, we've got João Pedro, Haaland, and Isak. So, yeah, obviously with that much money at the back, your midfield's going to take a hit. There's no Salah, there's no Saka, there's no Foden. Obviously, you do have Palmer, which is really, really nice. But yeah, apart from that, obviously, you've got to take a hit somewhere because, like I say, you can't have the best defense, you can't have the best midfield and the best up top. It's an interesting draft, though. It's very... even though it's got like a lot of template players, it's very like anti-template as well at the same time. I don't really know how to explain it. They've also got Rodgers as well, who, pre-season has been playing really, really well. Whether that's going to kind of continue into the Prem or not, I'm not really too sure. Whether he gets a lot of minutes, we'll have to wait and see. This is the thing about pre-season, some players can play really well and they just get like no minutes in the actual Prem. It can be really annoying. Hudson-Odoi, as a Forest fan, has been playing really well pre-season. 5.5 mil. I think he will probably be starting like most games. And like I say, he was really, really good for his last season. So I don't mind that choice at all. Again, I would rather go Gibbs-White just because he's on penalties and I feel like he's a lot more creative. But yeah, if you can't make that, obviously it's a mil difference between Hudson-Odoi and Gibbs-White. So yeah, that extra mil, like I say, it's very difficult to find. With João Pedro, if his minutes are secured, then that's fine. Obviously, you could also go for the Southampton striker as well, who's also on penalties. There, I think you're probably best to 5.5 mil strikers, really. I think that's where basically everyone's going to go. But yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot of wiggle room because there's so much money in the defense. You can't really do anything else. Like with Arsenal defense, even though they are probably the best defense in the league, the fixtures just aren't very, very good at the start of the season. I think if I go to Arsenal right now, they've got like in the first 5 fixtures, they've got like 3 really, really tough fixtures. So they've got Villa, Spurs, and City all away in the first 5 game weeks. I don't think a defender is necessary for that. You probably look about bringing them in around game week 6 where they've got Leicester and Southampton back to back. I just don't really think that they are a massive necessity. But then again, if you don't bring them in, who are you going to get rid of to then bring that kind of player in? Because, like I said, there's no 4.5 mil defenders in here. You could get rid of Saliba, spread those funds, anywhere really. If you do go to like a 4.5 mil defender like Mikolenko or something like that, you have 1.5 mil to kind of upgrade other players. But there's not really anyone you can really get to with that kind of money. Obviously, you could upgrade Hudson-Odoi to a Morgan Gibbs-White. You could upgrade a Rodgers to a Morgan Gibbs-White. I wouldn't really back 2 Forest players though in your midfield though. I don't think that's very smart. So yeah, I feel like if you're bringing in like a big midfielder like a Saka or a Foden, you're gonna have to get rid of somebody like Trent, who is gonna be saving you like 2.5-3 mil if you downgrade him. So yeah, like I say though, it's completely how you feel. Like it's not a bad draft because they're just going big at the back. They're just kind of backing the defense, and there's nothing wrong with that. They are arguably the best 3 defenders to own. Maybe Gabriel over Saliba just because of his goal threat, and that's just a set and forget. You don't have to worry about it. Whereas 4.5 mil defenders, much more likely to concede, and obviously playing for, you know, they're not always completely nailed, I guess, unless, you know, they are. But either way, don't mind the draft at all. And like I say, it's good to see a draft where it's completely like not against the template, but all the money's kind of going to the back, because it's just interesting just still. We're going to go over one more draft today as well. This was brought in by Sam, and they've got Sanchez in goal, Turner on the bench. So yeah, like I say, pretty template to have Sanchez. Nothing wrong with that though. He's just arguably the best 4.5 mil defender to own. At the back, it's a mix-up really between 4.5 mil defenders and Trent. So we've got Anderson, Konza, Mikolenko, and Trent. Again, I think Konza is probably one of the best 4.5 mil defenders to own, just because apart from like that Arsenal fixture in Game Week 2, they've got really, really nice fixtures, so I don't mind that at all. Their other defenders are Harwood, and again, you know, I'm assuming he'll play because like a lot of people are owning him. But like I said, I'd definitely back Johnson over him 100%. In midfield, they've got Foden, Gordon, Palmer, and Salah. And then up top, they've got Isak and Watkins. So again, another Haaland-less draft. Again, like a lot of the drafts today just don't have him. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just they're all kind of backing Salah instead. So yeah, you know, top, nothing wrong with that. Isak and Watkins, very, very good. In midfield, Foden, Gordon, Palmer, Salah. You've got 2 penalty takers there. Again, penalties they're pretty important. I think you can always, like, even if your player's playing like awful all game, they can always snatch a cheeky penalty, and it just helps, especially with like bonus points and stuff like that. So I always try and get a few penalty takers in, and obviously in this midfield you've only got 2. Again, if you can find the money somewhere, you could always upgrade like Foden to a Saka, maybe downgrading one of the 4.5 mil defenders. Playing 4-4-2, I think, personally, I don't think it's the way to go this season, just because defenders, like I say, have been kind of hit hard with the whole bonus point situation. I think it makes more sense to have a better midfield and strikers, but that's just my way. I could be completely wrong. You know, it's all a game of luck at the end of the day, and maybe defense is the way to go. It's just one of those things. But yeah, for me, I just think that if you're looking at the averages and stuff, and you look at the players that are going to be getting more bonus points, you know, people are going to be picking up bonus points for fouls, you know, fouls conceded and shots on target, stuff like that. You know, defenders aren't really going to get that. You know, you're not really going to get a centre back winning fouls. You're not really going to get a centre back having shots on target, apart from like corners and stuff. So it really just backs the midfielder and strikers. So if you're playing the numbers game, it makes more sense to go with those. So yeah, maybe downgrading one of the you know, one of the defenders to like a 4 mil defender. Maybe upgrading Winks and trying to bring in like Hudson-Odoi or somebody like that. I don't know. It's completely up to you, obviously, but that's just kind of my thoughts on that. It's just if you do have Trent, it really, really just... It's the same as Haaland. If you have Trent or Haaland, it just kind of like limits what you can do with the midfield. And I just think it's so important to have a good midfield this season. But either way, some really, really cool drafts today. Some drafts with good defense, good midfield, good forwards. Really, really cool to see. Like I say, I don't know if you guys are going to enjoy this video or not. I enjoyed making it. If you guys do enjoy it, like I say, drop a like and send me your teams. My Twitter's in the description down below, as well as the league code. We're going over like you know, nice differentials and stuff to own as we get closer to the deadline. But either way, thank you for watching. Like I say, if you enjoyed, drop a like. Let's try and hit 50 likes. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.